Well, howdy, folks, and welcome back to the PI Guy channel. As you can see, I am in my surveillance vehicle, and I'm getting ready to go out on yet another surveillance. Hey, would you like to come along for the ride? Yeah, I thought so. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to finish grabbing all of my equipment, and then I'm going to go fuel up, and then we're going to hit the road, and I will tell you all about the case as we are on the way. Okay? See you in a little bit. Okay, folks, well, we are all fueled up and we are ready to get on the road here. Fueling is very important on this particular case because of some of the details involved in the case. We may be going on a bit of a road trip with this one. What the deal is this is a injury case. We know the subject will be going to an appointment in the Denver metropolitan area today. We also know that, as a general rule, he shows up extremely early for his appointments. Many times we believe that that's in hopes of getting in early so he can get out early and not be seen. That's a normal ploy for a lot of people that are on workers' comp or have other personal injury claims in, is they will live far distances away from where they go to their doctor's appointment, and they will show up real early. And if they have a 3 o'clock appointment, they might show up at 1, and a lot of times they will squeeze them in because they have some excuse about having to get back to get their children from daycare or something like that. And what they're hoping for with those things is to catch any private investigator out there doing surveillance off guard, because they already showed up, and then the PI shows up at the designated time and of course never gets any video or is able to follow them and see where they live. People also tend to live far distances away, and that is the case with our subject today. He lives approximately 300 miles away from where his medical appointment is. The medical appointment is in the Denver metro area. He was working for an employer out of the Denver metro area when he got injured, so that kind of made sense. But he moved some time ago to a city much further away, and he goes there anyway for the medical appointments instead of choosing one close. And again, a lot of times what people are doing when they do this, they are hoping that they will be able to see if somebody is following them, because they're going to be driving 200, 300 miles or more. I've had some over 500 miles that they've traveled for a medical appointment. I actually had one where the subject was flown in to Denver for a medical appointment. That one was kind of bizarre. But on this one, since we know his MO, we know this is something that he normally does, we actually have an investigator at the other end that will pick him up. We'll get some video of him at his house, follow him a portion of the way, and then they'll pull off, and then I will again pick up where he's going, which is at the medical appointment. And then once he leaves the medical appointment, I will follow him a certain distance until it's close enough for the other investigator to then pick it back up. And usually we don't follow too tight because we believe the subject is being rather suspicious, or at least he's displaying suspicious activity. That he may be thinking that we are out here watching for him. So anyway, I'm on the road. I fueled up again. Fueling is very important. In fact, I will fuel up again. I am about an hour away from the medical appointment right now, so I will fuel up again when I'm there, because my full tank of gas on my vehicle will get me about 450 miles, which is pretty good, but I don't want to take any chances, and I don't want to have to fuel if he stops to fuel, and he probably will. We have worked this case before. He has always stopped to fuel when he leaves his house, and he usually stops to fuel when he leaves the medical appointment as well. And again, I don't want to have to stop if I don't need to and fuel up. I can just go somewhere else, shoot some video of him, hopefully get some good activity video of him as he's fueling his car, and hopefully getting some snacks and stuff like that. So it may be a very long, boring day. There may not be a whole lot going on, but I will do updates for this video as the day progresses, and of course I will come come back on when we get on the scene, and I'll go over some of the equipment that I have today with me. And I'll leave a link down below where you can go and you can check out all of my surveillance equipment and other equipment if you want to see what I'm using out here. Okay, I'll see you when we get on scene. Okay, thanks, bye. Okay, folks, we are on scene, and I am set up directly in front of the clinic. It's not what I would consider an ideal parking spot. It is literally right in front. I'm in a handicap spot. Luckily, I do have, one of these handicap placards that I am able to utilize and legally park here, but I'm still directly in front of the clinic. So I'm going to be watching for a parking space a little farther away where I'll be able to watch as cars come in and watch as he enters into the clinic. The clinic actually has a couple of entrances, so I have to be able to watch two doors at the same time. But we are all set up, and I am here and ready to go when he gets here. And I've got his vehicle information. I've got my my trusty cover sheet here. I've got photos of him, photos of his vehicle. I have his license plate number, so I can identify him when he gets here, when he arrives, to be able to get the video that I need to get. So I'm going to just sit here and keep watching for a parking spot to open up, hopefully somewhere else where I don't have to sit here right in front of the clinic and shoot video out of my windshield if I don't have to. In the worst case scenario, I just let my dash cam catch all of the video, and we deal with what we've got. As I'm sitting here, folks, I'm reminded, I blacked myself out, and I'm reminded of how many times many of you viewers here on the channel have asked me to talk a little bit more about how I blacked myself out. And I know with the camera, it looks like there's a lot of light, but there's really very, very little light. I do not have my curtain up in the back right now. Usually I have a curtain up back here, but there's not really a necessity. There's no reason for anybody to be back there behind me. Plus the sun is behind me, not in front of me. And I did go back and I looked with my blackouts up, and you cannot see anything through from the back. So I'm not too worried about the back. And you can see right here, I have one of my foam core cutouts in the window. I have little openings in the corners where I am able to see out if I need to see out as well. I have my sunscreen up in the windshield, and I'll try to get some pictures of that, and I'll try to put that up in the video, as well as the other blackouts that I have in my other windows, so you can kind of get an idea of what I do. So I am really totally hidden in here. Now, I'm kind of cooking. It's about 60 degrees out there, and I'm sitting in a parking lot in full sun, so it's getting plenty warm, so I'm going to have to turn the fan on here before long. I have a little 12-volt fan that I plug into my DC-AC converter down below that I also have my camera plugged into all the time to keep it charged up and ready to go. So, and again, there's going to be a link down below if you want to see a list of all the equipment that I use. And I will update you when something happens. Well, folks, I've been here about an hour and a half and have not seen the subject. We're about 25 minutes before his appointment. So we're just diligently watching for him. I have not relocated to another place. I haven't seen any open up that were more opportune spaces. Some others did open, but I am in a fairly opportune space right now. I have videotaped every male subject that has gone into this clinic that was anywhere close to remotely close to being resembling the subject of the investigation, but at this point we have not seen him, so we will continue to wait. We do have a lot of activity around. We have attendants in the parking lot, and we have, of course, it's a medical clinic, so there's lots and lots of people going in and out of the clinic, people parking next to me. I've taken down some of my my blackout materials, and on occasion I roll down a window to let some fresh air in. In sitting here, I have noticed there's a lot of people just sitting in their cars waiting for people or sitting outside, and a lot of the people that are going to the clinic will get here, go into the clinic. It looks like they go in, they check in, and then they come back out, and they must have to wait until they are texted or told that they can come in. So I'm not standing out quite like a sore thumb if somebody does notice me here, but I do have some of my blackouts up, one to help block some of the sun, but also keep it a little bit darker in here, so when I pull up my camera, I'm not very obviously sitting here with my camera up. And this is my camera. It's the same camera that I have been using for quite a while. It is a Panasonic camera. It is wonderful. I'll put a little bit of video in here if I'm able to, that has some video of what the camera is doing. Obviously, I'm not going to show where I'm at or show my subject. I need to make sure that I maintain confidentiality and maintain the integrity of the case. But this little Panasonic camera has a 90x intelligent zoom. So there's optical zoom, digital zoom, and this actually has what's called a intelligent zoom. It's Panasonic's own thing. It's a very little bit of digital. It's got a lot of stabilization in it, so I think it's 50x optical zoom, which is great, and then that 90x, so I can be quite a ways away from my subject and still get a face shot. I can videotape cars going up and down roads miles and miles away. So if you want to check out any of my equipment, there is going to be a link down below. I think I've mentioned that before. Okay, folks, well, the time has come and passed for the subject's appointment, and I have not seen him anywhere. I do have a message in for the client. I have a feeling what the client will want me to do is stay another couple of hours. Generally, we're going to get a minimum of 4 hours pay on any of these jobs anyway, and usually they'll want you to stay some period of time afterwards, just in case the person happened to be there before, or they used another door or something like that, just to show our due diligence for it. There is an address here in the Denver metro area that he did live at prior, and I believe it's a relative's residence, so I may be going and checking that out too. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hop out and I'm going to stretch my legs. I always recommend to do that if you get a chance while on surveillance, because you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to be getting blood clots or just strain your legs. And my right leg is starting to hurt a little bit just sitting here for a couple hours. So I'm going to get out and I'm going to stretch my legs, and I'm going to walk the parking lot and look for any vehicles that may be associated with him. While I do that, I'm going to take my Panasonic camera and I'm just going to set it up on the dash, zoomed in at the front door, and hit record. It's a black camera. Nobody's really going to probably notice it. And that way it will capture anybody that goes in or comes out, just in case he is in there. And I'm going to take my trusty covert camera from Lawmate with the iPhone 6 in it. The case is the camera. Camera's right there. Smile, you're on surveillance. And I'm going to take this with me in case I do see any vehicles that are associated with him. I can get some video and a picture of it as well. I'll have my cell phone with me. And if I happen to see him, I can obviously get video as he's walking in or walking to or walking from or doing whatever. So, hey, I'll see you in a little bit, and hey, wish me luck. Well, folks, no sign of him. I just got done talking with the client. I'm going to go check the residence that he provided when he filled out his claim. Highly unlikely that he's there, but we're going to go check it out. We did do a call into the clinic, and we found out from the clinic that he did not have an appointment scheduled today, which is kind of disappointing, but this is just information that we got from the client, so we're out here and we're making some money. Anyway, we're going to go check that out, and there's a chance that he has a medical in the next couple of days, so maybe right back out. Hey, as I was driving over to the claimant's provided address, I thought of a couple of things that I would let you know the answers to, because I get these questions a lot of times. First of all, I said I had called the clinic, and a lot of people ask me, well, what do you do? What kind of pretext do you use when you call places like that? And I actually don't usually use a pretext when I call a clinic. And I know that's going to sound really weird to a lot of people, because most people are trying to come up with some kind of a valid story. they're going to say, hey, I'm Bob Smith's brother or buddy, and I'm supposed to pick him up, and I'm wondering if his appointment got over. But usually, I have found, when you use those pretexts, you don't get a lot of information because you are not supposed to be given a lot of information because you're just Bob Smith's buddy. Sometimes that works. It used to work a lot better in the old days. What seems to work best for me today, because there are so many people that are going to these clinics and they are on some kind of an insurance claim, whether it's just their own health insurance or, because if it's an accident or a workers' comp or whatever, all I do is I say, hi, I needed to check to see if a claimant, Bob Smith, made his appointment today. And that's all I ask. Usually they just tell me yes or no. Or in this particular case, well, no, because we don't show an appointment for him. Now, they don't tell me if he had one and he changed it or anything like that. They're just telling me there wasn't one on the books for him. On occasion, they'll ask for a date of birth, and on occasion, they'll ask for a social, so you want to have that information available. Another thing I wanted to tell you about, when I do ones like this, my clients pay for all of the ancillary costs involved in doing an investigation. In this particular one, I saw several individuals that were similar to the subject, and I got video of them. I identified what vehicle they were associated with because I'm watching all the vehicles pulling into the parking lot. And when I saw somebody that looked similar to them, I knew that, well, that person was in that gray pickup, that person was in that white Subaru, things like that. And then I would go and I would get the license plate number, and then I'd run the license plate to see if it was associated with the subject. My clients pay for those runs of the license plates. And I have a set fee. I'm not going to tell you what my set fees are, but I have a set fee for when I run a license plate. I have a set fee for when I run a person, run different things for clients. And of course, there's different fees in there depending on the client. If it's a regular client that's giving me work all the time, then the fee might be a little bit different than if it's just a one-off type of an event. But I don't just charge them what the database company charges me. Some of the databases may only charge you a few dollars, $5, $10, $15, whatever it is. But there's also maintenance fees that you pay on top of that. You have to pay monthly fees on most of the databases to be able to have access. So I have set fees that cover all of that. I thought you would be interested in that. Now, I am probably about 15 minutes away from the subject's provided residence, and I will get back to you when I'm there and let you know what's going on. Okay, folks, well, we arrived at the provided address. This is the address that the subject or the claimant had put down as his address. No associated vehicles there. I did see a male subject, but he was not our subject of interest. There was a female subject there as well, possibly his sister. I believe the residence may belong to his parents, and the young lady that we saw appeared that she may be about the age of an individual whom we believe may be his younger sister. So this one is in the books. It's not necessarily a bust. Some people might call it a bust. I don't call it a bust. I still got paid for the day. On a case like this, I get a minimum of 4 hours in. Our 4 hours have expired, and now I'm going to get to go home. I also get my mileage and my travel time, things like that. Normally, though, for my company, I will charge 6 hours minimum. But when I'm working with insurance companies, I kind of have to do what their policies say. I have to follow their rules, not always go by my rules. And the reason we have minimums, in case you wonder, or if you don't, then this is something that you should think about if you don't already have minimums. The reason we have minimum hours is because of the simple fact, folks, that if I schedule a day, I'm out that day. I can't go work for somebody else. And I could have got 8, 10, 12 hours in. generally a lot of surveillances are going to average about 8 hours in, plus some travel time, plus some mileage, and it's close to the equivalent of 11 to 12 hours a day. I'm sorry about that, got a little distracted with some of the traffic up here, but that's equivalent to around 11 or 12 hours a day that I could be out getting paid. So like this one, I have my 4-hour minimum. It was a couple of hours drive time and there's some mileage. So at least I'm going to get, you know, the equivalent of 6 or 7 hours of work in, and it's not too bad of a day's income. But when I work private clients, it's always a minimum of 6 hours. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, go down below and click that join button and you will get some information. You don't automatically join just by clicking the join button. You get information and you can decide whether you want to do that, if you just want to support me and the PI Guy channel, or if you want to get some of the great perks like early releases on videos or discounts, different types of documents that I offer free on the Discord channel. Don't forget to check out the Discord channel. That link is going to be down below too. So go ahead, feel free to click on that join button. Feel free to click on that like, that thumbs up, and subscribe too, you know, if you like it, if it's of value to you. And I will catch you in the next video.